Well, welcome in to a sad post-game edition. No screaming, no yelling, no beer chugging on this one. It is a post-game World Series edition brought to you here by our friends at Desert Schools Financial. Of course, make sure to not miss out on the opportunity to check them out. They are on Forbes' top list of financial institutions. And of course, I'm too sad to even read any of this stuff right now correctly at this point because the Diamondbacks lost a very, very close game in Game 3 with Brandon Pfaadt on the mound by a score of 3-1. And of course, we are going to talk about how atrocious the home plate umpire was because Alfonso Marquez probably deserves to not be a part of this whole World Series situation. But of course, I'm your mayor of PHNX, occasionally known as Derek Montilla, also the mayor of the World Series. This man next to me, he cheers me up all the time. He stays very even keel, whereas Damon and I do not. He is one and only Patty Plantains, a.k.a. Patrick Lyons, from our friends at DNVR.
Hey, Derek.
Yeah.
Ski to you.
I'm not in the mood.
You got ski-ed pre-game.
I did get skied, so I will ski back to you. I'm just not in a ski type mood.
That's okay. It can be a cordial ski to everyone in the chat.
A tip of the cap to you and a ski to you all. Yes, I don't want to be sad like this. I really don't. But of course, a big part of the reason why I'm sad is home plate umpire Alfonso Marquez, who may or may not be a big part of the reason why the Arizona Diamondbacks lost tonight's game. Of course, I don't want to be that guy, right? I mean, you're okay. You're a neutral party here. I don't want to be that guy.
Those guys exist, yeah.
But it felt like some of his very egregious calls tonight led to the Diamondbacks missing out, both on defense and on offense in some big moments, but none bigger than some of the missed calls tonight against Lowe.
Yeah, there were a few, and they were critical late in the game against Moreno, where he gave a gift back to the Diamondbacks and then took it away just as quickly. But
gives and takes away,
and so something could have happened there to start the ninth inning to get a little momentum going on the Diamondback side. But as you alluded to, it's the top of the third where the Rangers end up getting 3 runs in that at bat by Nathaniel Lowe that ends up being a double when there were 2 questionable calls on an 0-2 count. I think that one was a strike very clearly in the zone.
Let's take a look at it. Pull it up here, Damon, because God damn it, I am furious about this.
I'm sorry. Which one did you want to look at?
Let's start with Gabriel Moreno's because that's what you were talking about, right?
Yes.
Let's start with Gabby Moreno's.
Let's go ahead and start with
this. Was a fairly crucial at bat there at the end of the game with Gabby Moreno at the bat against Leclerc. And of course, what we had was
pitch 2 was called a ball.
Atrocious. And that is against the Rangers. But how do you miss that call? And then how do you call ball 5? How do you call that pitch 5 right there a strike? In what world is pitch 5 a strike? In what universe is pitch 5 a strike? Maybe a makeup call for pitch 2 being so bad, and he knows it. Maybe you just know you're bad at your job and you just screwed up, and so you're going to make 2 bad calls to somehow make up for your terrible decision making.
Yeah,
but how is that how is it a makeup call when we got fucked earlier in the game? That's what I'm asking about. That's my question.
How do you feel about that, Damon?
Yeah,
let's just break down. No, I don't think it's a makeup call. I think you just straight up missed it, and because of that, now Moreno with a full count, he has to chase where that pitch number 6 is.
Correct.
You look at where that number 6 was, and you go, "Hey, very clearly."
Look at this ball! Look at this ball, Patrick.
That's pitch 5. That's pitch 5.
That's pitch 5. I know you don't like when I shout during you trying to make a point, so I apologize.
It's not on the black. It's on the white.
Look at this call, Patrick!
It's on the white.
Oh, man, this kills me.
Of the other
This is so bad.
batter's box.
Bring me the robots tomorrow for Game 4. I want robot umpires tomorrow.
Pitch 6 was as far out of the zone as pitch 5 was,
God.
which is why Moreno obviously had to expand the strike zone, swing at that to make the first out of the 9th. So,
I don't want the umpire to be the reason. I don't want the umpire to be the thing that we kick off the show with.
No one wants that.
No one wants that. I don't think, Damon, could you think of a time where we have ever kicked off this show would talk about the umpires?
I think every time that there was a bad umpire performance this year, we've made a point of not talking about
Not making it the sole point, but this game was so close, and Brandon Pfaadt was so good on the mound that he absolutely did not deserve this. And when we talk about the missed calls, when it comes, of course, to Brandon Pfaadt, those missed calls could have got him out of the inning. Instead, it extends the inning, and he ends up giving up 3 runs there in the third. That ended up being the Texas Rangers' only offense. That was all they were really able to muster up for the majority of the night.
Yeah.
But let's take a look at those. We got those strike zone calls too. Can we see those? Because these are just as absolutely egregious. And I don't know what to say about some of this.
Pitch number 3.
Nathan Lowe.
Yeah, pitch number 3 was an 0-2 count, and you can see that it kind of catches the zone. Or maybe is this a different at bat? This might have been his second at bat.
I think this was his second at bat. This was the one when he walked. Yeah, this is when he walked.
Yeah.
No, this is the hit. This is the one that he walked. This one
is
right here where
Look
he
at
got
4
the
and
hit.
5. One's a strike, one's a ball. Pitch number 8. Pitch number 8, I think maybe catches a piece. Obviously, if that was called a strike, you go, it's kind of either way. But the fact of the matter is the either way always went away from the Diamondbacks. Not really, always, except the Moreno one, but
there were some bad calls.
They were on the wrong side of a lot of the calls.
Yeah,
they were definitely on the wrong side of a lot of those. And then the one in the double, you had an 0-2 count, the third pitch, caught a piece of the zone. That extends the bat 1 and 2 count, and then I think it was when it was a 2-2 count, it was a borderline pitch, and it could have gone strike 3 as well.
Look at 7. Look at pitch 7. Pitch 7. Pitch 7 is the most egregious call.
This does feel like
pitch 7.
This does feel like a court trial. Can we see picture 3? Pitch 7.
I need slide 3, pitch 7. Thank you. Yeah. No.
Notice the greenness of pitch 7. No. Now, had that had some redness in it, I think we'd be talking about a strikeout, and that changes the inning, because then Simeon, you don't want to get him to get hot. He has the RBI single, and then Corey Seager on the first pitch hits the 2-run home run, 421 feet, 30 out of 30 ballparks, 114.5 miles per hour, hardest hit ball in the StatCast era. Yeah. But to kind of underline the point of how good Brandon Pfaadt was, other than maybe one pitch or 2 pitches, the one to Lowe probably shouldn't have even happened. He stays in there for another 2+ innings. And Torey Lovullo's like, we don't need anybody to warm up. We can just flush that 1 inning. It was kind of an aberration. It doesn't matter. And he's goes into the 6th inning. Actually has his longest start in this postseason. 18 has typically been the number 2 times through the order. He actually ends up facing the first 3 hitters at the third time around there at the start of the 6th inning, and goes fairly far. And this is still a really solid postseason start. 5 1/3 innings pitched. He gives up 3 runs.
Almost ended up being a quality start.
That's
like
right.
You said, 5 1/3, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, 4K. I know my bet was a big part of this. I absolutely cursed the wrong team tonight with my pregame bet, so I'll take that. I'll take responsibility for that. But
14 swings and misses.
Yeah,
the changeup he couldn't quite command it.
The changeup wasn't there like it was against the Phillies.
But there were the elements. You only give up 3 runs. You go at home. You should be with the roof open. You should be able to squeak 4 out, but unfortunately not the case.
Alfonso Marquez, by the way.
Tell me more about this gent.
Ranked 77th out of 92 umpires.
192?
No.
Just 92. 77th out of 92.
So I don't have an explanation for why he's here, but Golden Gate Sports, of course, the illustrious the Golden Gate Sports, ranked him as one of the 5 worst umpires in baseball. And
worst or best?
Worst.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I have a conspiracy theory for
you.
Because on May 12th of this very baseball season,
2023 BC,
Arizona Diamondbacks manager Torey Lovullo was tossed by Alfonso Marquez for, I believe, arguing balls and strikes.
Wow.
And they also got to Bannister. He almost tossed Bannister too. And Bannister, look, Jeff Bannister knows baseball better than pretty much any human being alive. So if you're arguing with Jeff Bannister, I'm just going to tell you right now, you're wrong. You're wrong. That's the way that works. But I'm going to go ahead and blame this on that. Of course, like you said, Brandon Pfaadt, still very good. Very good tonight.
Hard-fought performance.
I saw Thunderbolt, I know, is cursing and yelling and screaming about stuff. And I'm not going to say he's wrong, because the offense did totally disappear tonight. Some of those calls did go against them. But even when they had something going, they absolutely blew it. Christian Walker doubled in his first at bat, so that was great. Things felt good. They did the ovation thing.
Yes.
Felt like it worked. And then he was thrown out at the plate on, I believe, a Tommy Pham single.
That was rough. Yes.
That was
his
rough.
Fifth consecutive hit, too, on top of that. That was a ball that, before it was even down, despite the fact that Garcia was fairly
screaming,
deep.
No! Like almost in slow motion about him not.
What's interesting is I knew he had a good arm, but actually game one, watching with Damon, he pulled those. He's got a good arm. I was like, oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I knew it's pretty good. He's like, no, it's like elite. Pulled up the StatCast numbers, 99th percentile, essentially.
Yeah.
So he's a guy that you just kind of have that respect for.
Yeah.
Walker, probably not getting a good jump on it. He's a bigger dude. You want to be a little bit cautious. Now, Perez Chica, the third base coach, was waving him in kind of the whole way. And then just as he got past third base, now he hadn't even gotten to third base yet, and Garcia had the ball in his hand. He had to go to his right just a little bit to get it.
Yeah.
But I thought, in seeing Nolan Jones with his 19 outfield assists and Brenton Doyle with a ton, 13 or 14 this year.
You do cover a team that has
if you've
very
got
good outfield.
If you've got an arm, you can make up for that. And I was like, you don't send him. So Perez Chica is waving him home and then realizes, you know what? Let's hold up, throws up the stop sign. But by that point,
Walker's head's down.
His head's down. He's
sprint.
Like, I got to get on this one. Goes in and it ended up being kind of closer, now because of these the Buster Posey rule where you don't really have those collisions at the plate. Now catchers kind of delicately go over to make the tag, But as the ball's coming in, you're like, oh, he's out by a mile. It ends up kind of being close, but that was a bad send. Walker himself, when he came back in the dugout, though, he did kind of take it, the blame onto himself.
Yeah.
Because, maybe he should have had his eyes up a little bit more.
For sure.
That, you're able to score that run there early on. I mean, that's opportunity would have been huge. You squandered an opportunity.
Yeah, and I mean, the Diamondbacks offense didn't do much tonight, so it remains to be seen if that would have even impacted them in scoring him. The team was not able to get much done. Very weird kind of outing with Max Scherzer being pulled from the game early due to a lower back injury.
So that same inning in the second, Alec Thomas makes the third and final out. It goes down as a 1-5-3,
which was really weird.
You're like, oh, so what? Scherzer caught it, flipped it to his third baseman like it's some kind of Savannah Bananas Harlem Globetrotter trick.
Yeah.
No, it just whacked him in the back at 92.6 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And it goes down as an out. He tries to go back out in the third inning, and it's just some back soreness. You have to think those things are related. And then John Gray, as we saw in the chat, aka Cy Young, goes out, throws 3 scoreless innings, and strikes out 4 in the process, and looks just as good.
The bullpen was great.
He looks just as good as he did in game 1.
Yeah, the Diamondbacks could not do anything against John Gray. They could not do anything against this bullpen, and I mean, they did have. The Perdomo in the 8th inning, Emmanuel Rivera led things off with a big single, comes in driven in by a Geraldo Perdomo RBI single. But outside of that, the offense was just quiet. And this was the exact thing I felt like we feared in the pregame show. I had said it, but this team, this is the roller coaster of watching the Arizona Diamondbacks, season is that They put up 9 runs in one game, and then the next game, nothing. And I know that's baseball, but consistently they were inconsistent this year at offense, and it shows again here tonight. They don't get Brandon Pfaadt any run support. Ketel Marte did extend his hitting streak to 19 games, but a lot of it was fairly meaningless, and this team wasn't able to really muster up much more. I mean, they out-hit the Rangers.
Yes.
6-5.
Both teams got 3 walks.
Yeah.
So they still had slightly more base runners.
Yeah, this was absolutely a pitching duel, and I think that's the reason why we let off with talking about the impact of the umpire on the game. Unfortunately, the missed calls led to additional opportunities, which those additional opportunities allowed the Rangers to score runs in a very close game that those runs ended up being the decisive runs, essentially.
Diamondbacks haven't really hit into a ton of double plays. They did hit into 2 today.
They did.
That, again, you're squandering those opportunities with runners on base. As you said, with Marte, extends his hit streak to 19 games. It also means it's a 19-game consecutive game on base streak. It's actually the 3rd longest on base streak to start a postseason career behind Boog Powell, 25, former Baltimore Orioles great, and Daniel Murphy, I'm not going to say he did 21 consecutive games to start his career. I'm not going to say Rocky's great. He was a Mets great at the time that he did that. So Marte has another streak to kind of keep going towards. But he has that line drive single that Simeon just missed. It hit off his mitt, and I don't know. I don't go searching out for certain fan bases if they have anything to complain about, but I'm sure there were probably some Rangers fans going, "Oh, that shouldn't have been a hit. That should end his streak. It should have been an error."
It went.
He smoked it, 105.8.
It looked like it went through his glove.
It did.
It looked like it broke his glove and came out the other side. If you do that, you get the hit. I mean, we've already discussed that, though. Errors are so arbitrary, aren't they? Like, literally, if you're gifted athletically, you could potentially get hit with more errors than somebody that's not, just because you have the range to get closer to the ball,
right?
But you still might not make plays because sometimes it's going to take a spectacular play to get a guy like Cattell. Yeah, you're right. I mean, maybe you could say that, but I don't really care. I just care about this ump being terrible. And I could have pulled more screenshots, because those of you that are saying it went against the Rangers too, you're absolutely right. The Diamondbacks just weren't able to capitalize the same way the Rangers were, and then that ended up impacting this game. I think that, for me, is where it comes from, why as Diamondbacks fans and as covering this team, that's why we're screaming and yelling about the umpire tonight. But he was bad and had no business being out there. I'm sure he's probably not carrying any kind of personal vendetta over from the May 12th incident, but I'm going to go ahead and claim that that's a big part of what happened here tonight.
Dave, if he happens to call in and he has our eCam link, you can put him through. Or if he's in the chat, umpire Alfonso Marquez.
Yeah, bring him on in.
I'm not sure that legally I'm allowed to be within even like the same like digital space as him. I think he might need to get a restraining order against me.
I don't know.
How does that work?
I don't know who Jorge Carrasco is talking to, if he's talking to someone in the chat or us, but no, we were not justifying Christian Walker. We totally said that man had his head down.
He wasn't looking,
and was not looking at all.
Look, one of the worst things that I think in all sports, I'm sure it's true in different ways, but at least specifically for baseball, inconsistency is worse than anything else. If an umpire is consistent, then teams know how to approach. All right, the strike zone's a little bit high, so if it's up and it's close, you got to swing at that. Otherwise, the bat could get taken out of your hand. You can't let that go by for strike three. If the strike zone is expanded a little bit, either inside or outside,
you can adjust to that.
You can absolutely adjust that, and it's like fair for both sides. But when it's just inconsistent, it's frustrating. Even if, again, the umpire ends up missing the same amount of calls, but you don't know that going into. You don't know until the game is over of like, oh, at one point it was 4-1 and it was 3, because it's inconsistent. Pitches coming all over the place in all different shapes and sizes. So it's just inconsistency is the worst thing. The big rant that Aaron Boone went on with the Yankees was just like, tighten it up.
Tighten it up. Yeah, exactly.
Like, figure it out.
Yeah. No, that's really what it was about. But honestly, the Diamondbacks offense still didn't do much. I mean, this was almost like a bullpen game from the Rangers' perspective, because of Scherzer going out so early. The Diamondbacks really had no answer for it. And offensively, again, the Rangers bullpen, led by Gray, held the Diamondbacks to just that 1 run in 6 innings of work. That's something that the Diamondbacks have been able to get to. You know what I mean? They have been able to get to the bullpen at times and actually do damage. That's part of where the answer backs moniker came from. At times, this team actually made starting pitching look much better than it even was. But, now tonight, that wasn't the case. The Rangers bullpen was excellent, and they definitely held the Diamondbacks in check. But the Diamondbacks bullpen did their job as well. They gave this team a chance to win, and I think that's the big part about this was at least they weren't able to use, once again, the high-leverage guys. Those guys remain waiting for their opportunity to come in to a game with the Diamondbacks with a lead. But Mikel Castro, Kyle Nelson, Andrew Saalfrank, those guys got the job done. And
that's pretty good. Luis Frias, too.
Luis Frias.
Inning in 2/3. I think that's really important. Josh Sborz has been one of the best guys for the Rangers. Finally got to see him here in Game 3. Pham did have a 1-out double, so you can get to him. I think Pham actually ends up, with the early single. And the double there in the 7th inning gives him 6 hits in a 2-game span, the most in the World Series since 2010, next to Justin Turner in 2020 and David Ortiz in 2013. So 6 over 2 games, really solid. I did see in the chat, hey, should Pham be moving up to 4th? and you could slide Christian Walker back. I think we've kind of discussed that a little bit. That I think that's in the mix, but there were positives out of this game, similar to like Monday's game. I feel like Monday maybe didn't have quite as many positives. There just weren't a ton of awful takeaways, right? Because it really just came down to Paul Sewald and that one pitch to Corey Seager. But you have, as you said, the guys that aren't used as much, the Kyle Nelsons, the Saul Frank, the Luis Frias, kind of getting a little bit of momentum, Castro, and you say, okay, you can count on those guys going forward. Now with game 4 being a bullpen game, you have all your big dogs that are going to be out there that can go, and you can lean on them a lot more. And you worry about game 5 when game 5 happens, even though it's Zach Allen. Obviously, you're able to do some things against the Rangers bullpen, not a ton, but the 6 hits more than the Rangers 5. And the other big what if from this game. So the big ifs were, if Marquez has a better strike zone and maybe doesn't miss some of those calls, does that 3rd inning happen where the Rangers get 3 runs? Yeah. Does Moreno start something in the 9th inning? And the other if is, as we touched on, Max Scherzer exiting that game. If he is done for this World Series, what does that mean for the Rangers rotation or just eating up a couple of innings? And if Adolis Garcia doesn't come back, because there was a moment there in the top of the 7th, I want to say, where Adolis Garcia just on an aggressive swing, top of the 8th, 97-mile-an-hour fly ball that he hits, where he kind of tweaks his back, kind of his oblique. Travis Jankowski goes out in the bottom of the 8th into right field. Mm-hmm. We don't know what's going to happen with Adolis Garcia. So if neither of those guys are coming back, obviously that's an advantage to the Diamondbacks. We hope those two are okay, of course. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, that's an advantage. If this does end up going 7 games, as I've been thinking it may, then that is at least something that's going to benefit the Diamondbacks going forward.
And if that's the case, we could see Brandon Pfaadt again in the series potentially.
Yep. And nobody from media is allowed to talk with her, right?
Let's address that.
You explained it pregame, but kind of go through the run through, because now it's not even if she talks to media on camera. It's now just talking.
Yeah. So we had a chance to meet the wonderful Pfaadt family before the game, and I was going to discuss her son with Brandon Pfaadt's mom, and she said she absolutely is not doing any more media interviews prior to her son pitching, because the last time she did, he was making his debut in Texas, and when she did that, we all know how that went. The other time that media approached her was during his start against the Phillies in the NLCS, and as they got close to her, he gave up the home run to Bomb. So she has decided no more media. You get away. Us get away. She does enjoy the show, and that made my heart grow 10 times in size. But maybe me speaking to her caused the Corey Seager home run. Yeah, I don't know. He might be onto something.
She might. I don't think she can even look at media now at this point. Like, don't want to jinx that. Also, another really good reason, if you're watching this on the PHNX Sports channel on YouTube, go back and actually listen to the pregame show too, where we get into so many more of these kind of things. So
we do. The vibes were great at Chase Field. They really were. The fans were out. It was an amazing atmosphere. But unfortunately, the Snakes could not pull off the win.
No.
We do have to give our King Snake to somebody, and since it's the World Series, we're not going to do that thing where we don't give it to anybody or give it to somebody funny. We're going to give it to Jerry P, our one and only Geraldo Perdomo. He did have the only RBI in this game. Went 1 for 3. Not great, but neither was most of the offense tonight. Ketel Marte also deserving an honorable mention for extending that hitting streak to 19 games.
Pfaadt too. I think he's in the conversation.
Pfaadt ended up, that's definitely up there as well. Pfaadt just didn't get the run support. And, Perdomo has been such a big part of starting rallies and being involved in things, and it felt like at the time that was happening. And then it seemed like in the blink of an eye, that was squashed by the Rangers bullpen.
Right.
And we'll see how this whole thing plays out, because now the Diamondbacks have given home field advantage essentially back to the Texas Rangers. Yeah. And, they have a chance still. They got to win some games at home. But this Rangers team, we said it again, part of our pregame show that we said was this team is very good on the road during the postseason. And we know that. So again, you can't consider these automatic wins just because they're playing at Chase Field.
No, we did talk in the pregame a little bit, this idea of Torey Lovullo against Bruce Bochy. I thought Torrey's team lost, but there was the chess match that we got to see in the 8th that allowed Perdomo with the RBI single, the only run scored in the game. That's how we ended up getting King Snake. But you had Josh Spores still in the game, and so you burn Pavin Smith. He comes up to the plate, forces Bruce Bochy to bring in Aroldis Chapman to face Pavin. Well, you don't want to go left on left. So then Emmanuel Rivera comes in to face Chapman. You burn Pavin, but what does Emmanuel Rivera do? It's called We Stanual, right?
We Stand.
You taught me that one. You taught me that one.
We do.
Leadoff double in the 8th. Perdomo immediately responds with the RBI single. And then on back-to-back pitches, you end up getting Corbin Carroll gets caught looking on a slider. And then Ketel Marte hits into 6-4-3 double play. And really nice play by Corey Seager. It's actually 114.4 mile an hour off of Ketel Marte's bat. It's actually the hardest hit postseason ball turned into a double play in the StatCast era. That started in 2015. So you talk about being a little bit unlucky tonight. Yeah. Diamondbacks were unlucky in each and every way possible.
Yeah. They really were. They really were. Things were not going their way tonight. And that was what kind of sucks, especially with this close game. And someone I think earlier called blaming the umpires loser mentality. And yes, it absolutely is. I'm not going to say it's not, because I would be sitting here talking about the umpire if we would have won. And at times, yes, I am a loser. But this is absolutely one of those situations where it's so close that you do got to analyze, you got to analyze those calls. And there has to be a question at least asked, why with so many good umpires, with 76 more umpires that are ranked higher than him, why this man is officiating the World Series. But what do I know? I'm just an idiot with a mustache who can't drink out of his beer bat tonight because I'm not going to be celebrating anything.
People can be mad about it all they want, but the reality of the situation is it did impact the game. Our offense
in a big way.
Our offense didn't show up tonight, but neither did the Rangers' offense, and the Rangers wouldn't have any runs if it wasn't for poor umpiring.
Well, I mean, it would.
It's a big what if.
Might be a 1-1 tie going into extra innings again, and I don't know. But we did get some information about the ratings that we're going to go over here in a minute when it came to some of that stuff, and not great, which we knew was going to happen. But of course, we thank you guys for being here in the PHNX Sports YouTube channel. We thank you as always. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Sign up for notifications. That way you don't miss when any of our wonderful shows go live. Drop us a like. Gabby's always a big fan of that, whether he has a big night hitting or not. But of course, make sure that you do subscribe to us. Also, if you're listening on the audio podcasting side, there he is. He's late sometimes, but he always shows up, and that's what he's done all season long. If you're listening on the audio podcasting side, Gabby just came by and gave a thumbs up just to fill you in on what you missed. And make sure to subscribe to us there. Sign up for notifications. Sign up. Leave us a review. Give us a 5-star review. We like that. Make sure you subscribe on that side as well. If you are sad and you're heading home from Chase Field, make sure to stop by Circle K. It's the best place to get over a loss because it's America's thirst stop, and they have all sorts of wonderful things that will make you happy, like candy, chocolate. I mean, chocolate's pretty good. It's a good way to get over a loss. They have all sorts of wonderful candy. Don't sleep on the Circle K branded snacks at all. You can join their Inner Circle program right now for free by downloading the Circle K app. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com for details. But if you do, you can save 25 cents per gallon on your first 5 fill-ups. You can also buy 5, get the 6th one free on a selection of Circle K products like pizza, coffee, and ice cold fountain drinks. So don't miss out on that today. And maybe, just maybe, you'll still catch a rare glimpse of my soul trapped in one of the gas pumps at Circle K. But another big shout out to our friends at FOCO for assisting us constantly with the set decorations, for making all sorts of wonderful merchandise with a product line that includes apparel, accessories, toys, collectibles, novelty items, everything you need to be a fan. Basically, it's baseball season. It's World Series season. Get down at FOCO. I guarantee you, if you go check out their website now, you will be mesmerized by the exclusive bobbleheads they have right now for the World Series. Limited edition, numbered, beautiful little works of art. And of course, if you are a Diamondbacks fan specifically, this is a rare opportunity to get some of these specific bobbleheads that, we don't get a chance to be featured. Like sometimes when you go to FOCO, of course, they have a lot of, they do a great job of representing every team, but sometimes, we're not featured like this all the time. So make sure to check out everything they have to offer over there.
Not bobbleheads. You should almost not say bobbleheads. You said it before. Art.
It is.
So if your significant other is like, don't you have enough bobbleheads? I'm getting art.
And you can't judge my art. You can't.
It's art.
You can't tell me what is and isn't art.
It's art.
I find it to be art.
I mean, it is art.
It is art. It's not even
only for FOCO. Only for FOCO.
Yeah, that's right.
It's art.
But all right, make sure that you check out FOCO. They always have our back for Arizona sports, and they have yours as well. Get the best gear around by visiting FOCO.com and use our code of PHNX for all non-presale items. Using that code will get you 10% off. So again, use code PHNX. I'm sad. I'm still sad. I'm still not ready to go to the clubhouse and see videos, but I don't know. I was at the game for a little while. The vibes were pretty incredible.
Vibes were crowded.
The vibes were crowded. The line at the team shop was immaculate and long, but it was really cool to see. It's like in my lifetime, I've only had a chance to see a team like this make this kind of run one time, and even then, I was not sports reporting on it. I was there just like every other fan, just enjoying everything, being there. I got to go to one of the games of the World Series here in 2001, and it was incredible, but it was also very crowded then. So it was like, it's all such a blur.
Right.
Tonight, I just couldn't believe some of the stuff I saw. The little team shop kiosks in the middle, completely ransacked of all their World Series gear because everybody bought everything on the shelf. I mean, people were excited and they were ready to be out there to watch this team. Unfortunately, they didn't get it done, but that doesn't mean that they don't have a chance to still get it done. I know a lot of people instantly want to doom and gloom after a game like this, and I understand. This one is frustrating. Not only did the Diamondbacks not show up offensively, and when they did, they made some mistakes that cost them the opportunity to get some runs, but just a weird night all around for baseball, I felt like, for the game itself.
It was. Yeah, it was. And it was quick. I was actually surprised to see
very fast
that the end time was like 2:52.
Yeah.
Because it was flying by early on.
Yeah.
And then some of the pitching changes obviously, kind of changed that. There wasn't a ton of action that happened in this game other than the Corey Seager home run. It really was, a little bit about, the home plate umpire and what he was doing. I mean, there was just everything that just lacked that extra oomph. I mean, there were people behind home plate. One guy in an Iowa Hawkeye shirt said it wasn't a fair catch.
Yeah.
Like, okay, all right, that's kind of funny. There are two dudes with sublimated shirts that look like chiseled chests.
I didn't get that one at
like
all.
It was just, all right, cool. All right, I guess you have a hot body, guys. I don't know how to interpret that, but it was kind of a weird one where you have, Brandon Pfaadt pitching against the team he made his debut with. Something that Michaela mentioned the other day is the 8th time in the World Series that has ever happened. But the first time it was ever in the guy's first start, his debut start, right? In the same year. That's what made it so unique. And then Max Scherzer becoming the 7th pitcher to start a World Series game against the team that drafted and signed him, the first one since Jeff Weaver did it against Detroit. So even that's kind of like one of those weird rarities. But other than that, it's one of the reasons why we're talking about the balls and strikes today, because this was just kind of one of those maybe reset games just a little bit after an exciting game one, and at least for Diamondbacks fans, a pretty exciting game two. There was a lot more that was happening. Even if you're a Rangers fan, you can probably at least say, yeah, there was a lot of good stuff with Tommy Pham amongst other things. But yeah, this was probably the least interesting game and certainly the most frustrating game of the World Series so far.
Let's not dox the umpire, you guys. Let's chill on.
Is the chat going crazy here?
I don't know.
No.
May or may not be identifying their place of residence, let's not do that. Of course, we do have more from Brandon Pfaadt on the fact that he should have apparently thrown the Roger Beshan's football slider more. I don't know what that's about.
He talks about that post game, I believe.
Is that what he's talking about? No, he's not talking about that. He's talking about bouncing back, and obviously, this loss, I'm sure, to the way that Brandon Pfaadt operates, this is probably not going to impact him at all. Even though it would be a loss that would cause me to go hide underneath my bed. Here's what Pfaadt had to say.
Yeah, it's kind of, like I just said, just taking it day by day and one game at a time and bouncing back, right? And I think we've shown that throughout the season, and we're certainly planning on doing that tomorrow.
Yep. I mean, it sucks. It's not great. It's not ideal. But they do have to bounce back. They do have to come back tomorrow.
He seemed to beat. You think he took a page out of Geraldo Perdomo's book of like, yeah, cool. We're gonna come back tomorrow and play a game. This thing isn't over yet.
Yeah,
and that's kind of all you can do. Damon, do you know? Did Jesse send any video or audio of Pfaadt responding to whether or not he needs to develop the Roger Beshin's football slider before his next start? Do we have any of that?
So apparently, I think that was like kind of like a secret conversation he was having. He didn't really want like that to get on like the hands of like the press.
Edit this out.
He did talk about Corey Seager, who continues to be a menace when it comes to the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Yeah, he's good. He's a good hitter and probably the best hitter in the lineup for sure. And I think getting him out is key to the whole game, and we paid the price for that tonight. Yeah, that was a scouting report, and we knew he'd be aggressive. So I think if we make it a little better pitch there, it would have been a different outcome.
Obviously, obviously, it would have been a different outcome. But you do got to tip your cap to Corey Seager on what he's been able to do in the World Series so far. And I mean, what the Diamondbacks now have an opportunity still to go out there.
Oh, sure.
And I mean,
long series left. Man.
They could take the 2 remaining games, and that gives them back that 3-2 lead before they go back to Texas.
Sure.
Who knows? I mean, this, like I said, this isn't ideal outcome for Diamondbacks fans, but we do know that they absolutely have a lot still to go. I'm still curious about this bullpen game and how it's going to work out, especially considering that they have used Andrew Saalfrank here the last 2 games.
Yeah. They've
also used Luis Frias the last 2 games. Miguel Castro's gotten some work. So, like, it's not the high leverage guys, which might maybe get a bigger workload tomorrow, which doesn't seem like a terrible idea. I don't hate that.
Well, we kind of talked about this. By the way, I mean, there's probably a lot of Diamondbacks fans that are going, wait, didn't we just get rid of Corey Seager? Like, he was out of the division. He's on the Dodgers. He goes to the other league. I thought we were done with him. So sorry, Diamondbacks fans. But, you know, we talked about this going into game 4 where it was the exact same situation. Down 2-1, you know, it felt like a much different situation, right? Because the Phillies were so dominant in those first 2 games. But it was 2-1. How's it going to work? Hey, you're probably going to have to get 4 outs from Ryan Thompson, Kevin Ginkel, and Paul Sewald. They did exactly that. So I think they're going to be able to very easily do that again. They might even be able to get more than that from those 3 guys potentially. You sprinkle in a Joe Mantiply as your lefty to use, and that right there is 5 innings between Thompson, Ginkel, Sewald, and again an out or 2 from Joe Mantiply, probably 2 there against some of those lefties, probably in Seager and Carter, let's say. And then right there, all you need is 4 innings at the first part of the game, and hopefully you can kind of score some runs, because the Rangers, when they score first this postseason, I think they're 10-0. They're pretty hard to beat. So you got to be able to strike first. And Snakes are known to be striking first. They just didn't do it tonight.
Tonight, especially, that's what made that, you know, the Christian Walker situation feel like it killed the momentum, right?
Yeah.
Like, and sometimes that's the thing is sometimes moments like that really do kill your momentum. Maybe you did have something good going on. Maybe you were going to drive that run in. Maybe it was going to build on the inning. You don't really know. Or maybe you were going to strand him over there at third base. Like, at times this team has done both of those things. We definitely know that they've struggled to score with runners in scoring position throughout the season. And once again, their offense, as painful as it is, has been known to just absolutely disappear like this through ups and downs throughout the season. I mean, I would say that, like, they disappear against good pitching or whatever, but we've just seen them struggle against even mediocre starting pitching, make guys look like Cy Young Award winners. They've also absolutely wrecked, you know, some of the best pitchers in the league this year on offense. But yeah, I mean, there was a lot out there. I think Tim here brought up an interesting point. He said, can we talk about losing both of those challenges too? Yeah, both of those challenges did not seem like they were things that you should have even challenged. I know we got a lot of questions about what they were even challenging.
I was okay with one. The second one was the double play with Marte, right?
That was the one.
And that one was like, you can see that he was just safe.
Yeah.
That one I would disagree with. The one with the play with Evan Carter at second base, I know what the rule is, But this felt like it was maybe somewhat in the gray area where it was similar to what happened in the ALCS. So Jose Altuve on a fly ball, he basically was on first base and decided this ball is dropping in. So he goes from first to second and he's going to third base.
Passes by second, touches second on his way to third.
And
ball gets caught.
On the way back, he like just barely passed second base. He's like, oh crap, I got to get to first. And goes to first without touching second base.
Right.
Again, basically just like skips it.
Right.
Just barely.
So if you round second base and touch it,
yep.
you have to touch it on the way back to first base.
But Evan Carter didn't go past second. He just
That's the thing.
went
He didn't
2
round
second,
it,
touched it, and then said, oh, I got to go back to first.
Right.
So it was kind of like, again, it's maybe it's not in the gray, it's in the middle. It's just we understand the concept that if you go halfway, the ball's caught, you go back, very obvious. If you round second base, very clearly, you have to touch second base. But what if you are standing on second base when the ball is caught?
Maybe
you still haven't gone past. That would be weird to step off the bag and then like
touch
step
the bag
on it again.
Yeah, step off, step on.
I didn't think it was going to be overturned. And
I
so,
didn't either. But I think that's maybe like
so that's why I was okay with it, because maybe there was something in one of those rules where it said you had to do it again, or maybe it has something to do with when you touch the base, where is your body facing?
Yeah.
Something like that. That wasn't the case at all, but I understood you throw it out there and go, hey, maybe there's some kind of loophole in the rule, or there's just something that is missing, because it was strange.
I almost feel like it was a desperation, fingers crossed.
And that one
maybe
was okay.
This goes our
you get
way.
2, right?
Yeah.
I was okay with that one.
But
I was okay. It was all right.
It is what
Didn't
it
work
is.
out though.
Yeah. We have more though. We have more from Christian Walker, which I don't know. If our guy
doesn't throw a football
I don't know
slider,
if our guy
though.
Thunderbolt is gonna hear from him at all, but we do have Corbin Carroll on his on getting struck out looking there against Chapman there where he didn't swing the bat.
Yeah, probably don't want to give away anything there, but just came out of a little different tunnel than some of the pitches before, and kind of froze me.
Is that one that's difficult to look back on?
No. I mean, I'd rather look foolish executing my plan than just be up there, scared. So.
Yeah,
that slider was pretty nice. Like,
I
it
mean,
just
you got to
straight
give
up
credit
flew.
where credit's due, right? Like, I mean, what's my excuse? Nothing. I don't have one. He struck me out with an excellent pitch. And I mean, when he's talking about the tunnel, especially, like, that's difficult when especially a pitcher's able to give you different looks, and at times, maybe gives you a look that you thought you've seen before and was typically a ball, typically an off-speed pitch, something like that, and instead it lands in there like that one did.
It's easy at lower levels when a guy is, let's say, coming over top for a fastball, and then the arm drops to like 3/4 for a slider. You go, oh, as soon as I see the arm 3/4, I know what's coming on with this pitch. But if a guy can replicate his throw, the tunneling each and every time, it's going to happen. And again, it's a guy that, despite the troubles that he's had this year, and maybe the last couple years or whatever, he has that potential. He is kind of a borderline Hall of Fame guy. It's really hard for closers to get in the Hall of Fame. So I don't know that it's really anything that's going to happen unless he has maybe 2 more All-Star type years. But I mean, this guy for a while, it was Chapman, Craig Kimbrell, and Kenley Jensen.
Yeah.
All 3 of those guys, top-notch closers. If you had them, it was shut down. He won a World Series with the Cubs there in 2016. They mortgaged the future to get him. But as Casey Stern from MLB Network used to say, prospects are cool, parades are cooler. And I know probably some Diamondbacks fans are saying right now, you know what? Wish maybe we would have given up a couple of those prospects to get a number 4 starter right now, because that would come in handy for Game 4 tomorrow.
My guy Tyler said, can we talk about the dog in the center field?
Ooh, what a play.
Thomas.
That was nice.
I mean, man, that dude is just incredible. Like I said, we are all witnesses to this man's greatness. And of course, I don't care what kind of night. I mean, he had an incredible at bat that I kind of felt it was going in that direction of that 14 at bat where he ended it with a home run. Of course, instead he struck out, which is kind of a bit more of indicative of how night has gone for this team. But it felt like it was at least a good lengthy at bat, which they didn't have enough of tonight. They were trying, but at times the inconsistent strike zone, I think, just didn't allow them to be able to figure things out.
Yeah, Alec Thomas did a really nice job in that 9th inning, as you're alluding to there, on the fly ball by Garver. That was where Carter was on first base and touched second base. 412 feet to center.
Right.
Home run in 19 out of 30 ballparks. It wasn't a homer. It wouldn't have been a homer at Globe Life, but still, you got to see his range out there. And I think despite the fact that I know at some point in the year, he was sent down to work on a couple of things, his defense is just so strong that you have to just deal with those kind of slumps in the regular season, because what he is able to bring on the defensive side of things is so valuable that you can deal with those slumps. It's a little bit harder, obviously, in the postseason right now.
Carlos says, remember when people said we should trade Alec? The fools! Absolute fools! I actually agree with Ernesto here a bit. Let's go back up to Ernesto right there. He said, hopefully the pomp and circumstances are also a bit more tepid. Too many interviews focus on the game. That I agree with. I mean, today, the big part of our pregame show, talking about the vibes, talking about us being out there, the atmosphere was like unlike any I've ever seen at Chase Field, to be honest, today. And a big part of it was kind of a mix of World Series and like opening day kind of at the same time. Like it had kind of all of that kind of going for it. Like you said, the pomp and circumstance, a lot of the celebrating almost. It was like celebrating that we were here in the World Series. I get it. I was excited to be there, just like all of you guys who were there were excited to be there. By the way, a cheat code absolutely is going down to the ballpark, even if you don't have a ticket.
It's true.
And
just
hanging out, go to the bar, go to Guy Fieri's, go over there, even though he's never going to show up there. And because he claims he's, the mayor of Flavortown. And I am a mayor, and I feel like, we should have had some sort of
too many mayors in one location.
Mayoral meeting.
He's going to stay away from all of Phoenix
with Kate Gallegos or something when, you come to town. But instead, he just blew us off. But that's fine.
Yeah, I like how you phrase that. That is the cheat code. Because I didn't go inside. Yeah. I just walked around and watched people with their unique jerseys that they had on.
It's so much fun to
and
just
go
be
up to
down
some
there.
Scalpers and go, hey, how much for one? And just kind of see what they had to say. There was a horse that was there.
There was a horse. We still can't get over the horse.
It's pretty cool, and it's like it's not gonna stop. It's the World Series. Like it really is like a celebration.
Do you think it dies down a little bit though? Like
no, I don't think so.
No, you think it's just going to be just as amped up tomorrow? Like
yeah, because how many people have tickets for Game 3 and Game 4? So the people that are going to Game 4, they're going to a World Series. Like as many baseball games I've went to in my life, and
sure, a lot of people can't afford to go to multiple games.
Many fewer postseason games I've gone to, and that don't take a shot at me because I cover the Rockies. But even as a fan going to some Yankees postseason games, there weren't a ton. I'd never been near a ballpark. I never had to jump in my car because I lived an hour away from New York City, an hour away from Philadelphia, right? Yeah. So I went to a lot of games in the regular season, a couple in the postseason, but never, I wouldn't have driven an hour just to stand outside the ballpark for the World Series. But seeing what this was like today, it's like, yeah, that would be worth it to just be in that vicinity, see what's going on, see the buzz again, see the fans. Beautiful day. The temperatures are just right now in Phoenix.
And I don't know I don't know if they were selling standing room only tickets, but there was like people standing everywhere. So again, another cheat code is maybe buy that last row ticket and then just go stand somewhere wonderful and watch the game.
Yeah.
I think ushers were also taking in the game because they weren't doing their usual shtick of yelling at us to move. They were just like, wow, what do you think they're going to do? You think the offense is going to wake up? It's kind of awesome how dedicated this, everybody in the building was to watching the Diamondbacks. And like I said, it's unfortunate they couldn't have pulled it off, but man, we wanted them to. And like I said, a big part of that felt like things were going in the right direction was everybody's decision to give Christian Walker a standing ovation and try to help him get out of this slump.
That's cool.
I'm still very much against it. I just need to say that. I need to say my piece. I think it's patronizing. I think it's putting more pressure on the player. I think the way that you phrased it was a little different. But
was there that pressure? Because he went out and hit a double.
I mean, definitely in the first one. Like I said, yeah, I mean, he did the thing there with the first one, so I don't have anything to say, but I still don't like it. But here's Christian Walker talking about blowing through that stop sign there that ended up costing the Diamondbacks essentially their first run of the game.
Yeah, honest mistake. Felt like I got a late read from my angle. It was hard to tell how hard the ball was hit. I had a feeling it was going to drop, but I've seen Tommy hit that ball before, and it gets to that, the right fielder in the air, so I was a little hesitant to just turn my back and go, and I think I just got a little bit sped up trying to make up for that shuffle, and had my head down trying to make a tight turn around third, like really trying to get to the plate, and just the last time I looked at him, he was waving, and I never saw the stop sign. But yeah, probably trying to do too much there. Should have been more aware.
Trying to do too much is a key to their downfall at times, right? We've talked about the whole baton thing. Got to be a relay team. Got to hand that baton off. So of course, blowing through that stop sign again. These guys are all accepting responsibility, which is a big thing here. But I understand fans being upset, definitely, for sure. I mean, and again, I don't know how this impacted, their ability to maybe put up more than just one run there in the inning. But he did discuss receiving that Trey Turner standing ovation treatment. Here's what he had to say.
No.
How did it feel?
No, it's cool. It's cool. Yeah, I appreciate that. It's nice to know that, they got your back. It's, I think we put a lot of pressure on ourselves sometimes, and it's all for the right reasons. But, at the end of the day, to know that, you got support and you got love from the home crowd, it's a good feeling.
Sounds like he said that took the pressure off of him, right?
You're right. You're right. That's exactly, I think, what you said during the pregame show about showing that support. And I totally saw it that way as well. I just am too cynical at this point of my life and my age. By the way, this man's actually older than me. Spoiler alert. I'm just throwing that out there. I don't know why I needed to do that, but I feel like I needed to do that because I feel like I'm the old man here.
What the hell was that for?
It was a side swipe. I know he's an innocent bystander.
Dude, I understand you're hurting right now, but that was super uncalled for.
He's just so young and vibrant. I needed to be able to know that the actual number is more than mine, just slightly. It's not a lot. We're basically the same age. We're both old. That's what I'm saying. But of course, we do have the young man of the podcast to get to here shortly.
Baby boy Jesse?
The real hero
Jesse
of the podcast. But before we get to Jesse, of course, I want to remind you guys that if you're looking for a hero in your life right now after the Diamondbacks let you down tonight, check out Hero Bread, because they make sliced bread, buns, and tortillas that are available on hero.co and on Amazon, and they just make better bread. That's it. They just make better bread than anybody. What makes them better than their competitors is that basically, you can personalize your bread with Hero, whatever you're trying to do. If you're counting carbs, if you're not counting carbs, if you are looking to get more fiber in your diet, if you're looking to get more protein in your diet, doesn't matter. Hero has you covered with a wide variety of breads and buns and tortillas, all that suit your needs. Their bread is soft and fluffy. It is not hard and dense like that other, healthy bread. It gets a bad rap. Hero's trying to make healthy bread better. Of course, high in fiber or ultra low net carbs, whatever you're looking for. 0 sugar per slice, 5 to 10 grams of protein per serving. They got you covered. So check out all of the variety they have to offer right now. Hero Bread is offering listeners 10% off their first order. Just go to hero.co and use code PHNX to save on Hero Bread today. That's HERO.co to save 10% today. And of course, I was throwing shade earlier at our friend, home plate umpire Alfonso Marquez. I don't even want to say his name right. I don't feel like I should say his name right, but a great way to do that is with our friends at Shady Rays, and they're not gonna cast shade upon other people. They're just gonna cast shade upon you, and they're gonna do it with their wonderful sunglasses, premium polarized shades that are built to last, better than all of those expensive, sunglasses you can get out there. It's a independent sunglass company with a world-class product and a world-class lost and broken replacement plan. To be honest, it's I don't even know if it's world-class. It's insane, because they told us that if you lose or break your pair even on day one, they will send you a brand new pair, no questions asked, no shame, no guilt, none of that. They're just gonna no shade. They're not gonna throw shade at you. They'll also allow you to exchange your glasses for a new pair if you don't love them, or return them for free within 30 days. No risk at all when you shop. You can shop online at their website or at their location here in town at Kierland Commons. Exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is giving out the best deal of the season. Go to shadyrays.com and use code PHNX for 50% off 2 or more pairs of polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 250,000 people. Well, We got Jay down here saying, I better not catch Mad Dog at Taco Boys. I'll give him a piece of my mind. You're gonna retire, Mad Dog, if you catch Jay at Taco Boys. I'm just saying that. Of course, there's another guy that you might catch at Taco Boys tonight, and that's the one and only Thunderstick Jesse Friedman, my vice mayor. Of course, your Thunderstick. I know we were hanging out tonight, buddy, watching this game. This one's a bit unfortunate. I already put the umpire through the ringer, so no need for you to do that because I know you're going to come on here and absolutely drill him. But, Jesse, what were your thoughts on tonight's loss?
Well, first of all, I think two of me is still younger than one of you. So I just want to start there.
Bro. You know what, Damon? Just shut him off. We can just wrap it up right there.
I think that's factual for me as well.
Shut up, you.
I can't have you like just needlessly doing that to Patrick, and then you don't, and then someone doesn't fire back at you. Like that's fair.
Right, that's fair.
Although I will acknowledge mathematically, I think the statement I just made is inaccurate. But anyway, we'll go ahead and move on. Yeah, this was just a tough game all the way around for the Diamondbacks, right? A game that you feel like if a few little things go their way, they might have been able to win this game, right? I mean, it was a 3-1 game. They only lost by 2 runs. There are so many little things that you can pick out in this game where you kind of ask yourself, all right, if that goes a different way, how does that change the outcome of this game? I think maybe the first one is what happens if, or at least one of the first ones would be what happens if Max Scherzer is not hurt and stays in this game. Are the Diamondbacks able to get to Max Scherzer a little bit that second, maybe that third time through the order if they get there? I think they might, right? I mean, I know it was 3 scoreless innings for Max Scherzer, but we've seen the Diamondbacks do that with kind of a lot of starting pitchers in this postseason, where the first couple innings, first 2-3 innings, they don't get anything going. And then once they see the pitcher for the second time, especially the third time, if they get there, that's really when the offense comes. And because Max Scherzer was removed from this game with back tightness, the Diamondbacks never got that opportunity. Instead, they got Jon Gray, who is really, really good in this game for the Texas Rangers. He was really, really good in game 1 as well. That, I mean, obviously for the Rangers, it's unfortunate to lose Scherzer, and they're certainly not happy about that. But I think it's possible that actually sort of worked in their favor in this game, and that the Diamondbacks had to face Jon Gray, a guy who they clearly were not seeing the ball well against in game 1, and did not see the ball well against in this game either. There's also, of course, there's the missed calls, right? I know you guys have already talked about it, right? The Nathaniel Lowe call there that started off that third inning for the Rangers, right? Theoretically, if he strikes out instead of doubles, then Marcus Semien and Corey Seager never even get to bat in that inning. And, who knows exactly how that ends up. Obviously, that was a big moment in the game. There was the call, of course, with Gabby Moreno toward the end of this game as well. There was Christian Walker with that base running mistake that he made. What happens if Christian Walker doesn't make that base running mistake? It's not a guarantee that the D-backs are able to score there. The next couple of outs were not especially productive. One was a pop-up and one was an infield grounder.
Right.
It's not necessarily a guarantee you get something going there anyway, but that was also just it felt like a momentum change, right? When the Diamondbacks, double on the first pitch from Christian Walker, Tommy Pham comes up and singles, really got something going, and then all of a sudden Christian Walker's thrown out at home plate. Kind of just felt like the life was sucked out of this building in that moment. And that's another sort of unanswered question for this game. What happens if that doesn't happen? And we'll never know the answer. And ultimately it all turns into a loss for the Diamondbacks.
How do you think this impacts the series going forward though, Jesse? Because it really does feel like the injuries, maybe could impact the series to Garcia and Max Scherzer, obviously. There's also the idea here that, their bullpen has been used quite a bit, and going into tomorrow's game, there was a chance that bullpen was going to get utilized quite a bit tomorrow as well.
Yeah, and I think that's where the injury to Scherzer really does cost the Rangers, is that tomorrow they're in trouble, theoretically, right? The Rangers have announced that they're going to start Andrew Heaney tomorrow. The Diamondbacks are going to start Joe Mantiply. Andrew Heaney doesn't necessarily make a whole lot of sense, right? The D-backs don't really have a top of the lineup packed with lefties. They're going to get the advantage against Corbin Carroll, but Ketel Marte is probably going to lead off, and then every hitter that Andrew Heaney probably faces after that will be a right-handed hitter. So that's advantage Diamondbacks, that the Rangers no longer have the option to go with Jonathan Gray, and they now have to go with Heaney. Tomorrow becomes a really important game for the D-backs, obviously, after losing this one, and I think they're set up pretty well to win that game. Bruce Bochy didn't say a whole lot about Adolis Garcia. He exited this game late with left side tightness, and Bochy said something about being optimistic there, but that there was still some tests happening. So obviously, if Adolis Garcia misses any time in this series whatsoever, that would be a really, really big thing as well. So we'll have to see what happens there.
Yeah, with Texas's bullpen, is there anything to put a finger on other than John Gray about how well they were able to do? And do you think ultimately, like, to a degree, their luck runs out, because it's really been all about Jose Leclerc, Josh Sborz, and then Aroldis Chapman can be kind of sixes and sevens, right? He's a little all over the place, up and down. Do you think that despite the fact that this is probably going to be a bullpen game, and it is for both teams legitimately, that the Diamondbacks might have a really strong advantage, in fact, for Game 4?
Yeah, I mean, we've said from the beginning the D-backs probably have the better bullpen of these two teams in the series, and that's even more significant now, right? Because the D-backs didn't use any of their high leverage guys in this game. All those guys should be available. The Rangers did use Chapman, who didn't look great in this game and also has a pretty bad track record this season, at least, pitching back-to-back games. I don't know if the Rangers are even going to want to go there. So that'll be interesting to see. They use Sborz in this game as well. He's one of their main back-end guys. They use Leclerc, who gave them a couple of innings in Game 1. So yeah, advantage Diamondbacks for sure. Tomorrow is a really, really important game for the D-backs to win, and a game that I think they're set up pretty well to win.
The sporadic offense tonight, Jesse, seemed like what we've talked about. I even said it beforehand, so I'm feeling very guilty about stuff I said and bets I made, but it really feels like at times this offense can disappear. Even right when you think they're on a roll, they have a game like this, a night like this. And I guess, how does this offense get back on track tomorrow and not derail this wagon that we have rolling here?
Christian Walker said something interesting after the game that stood out to me. He talked about how, the Diamondbacks create chaos mantra. Talked about how that sort of makes you feel like you're playing with your hair on fire. When in reality, less is more. Those are the exact words that Christian Walker used, where D-backs don't need to go up there and try to do too much, or try to steal 17 bases, or lay down 14 sack bunts. It's just a matter of just kind of relaxing up there and sticking to your game plan and kind of doing your thing. And Christian Walker, even with the base running mishap, he felt like he was trying to do a little bit too much there. That's ultimately what it came down to. He got a bit of a late break off of second base, didn't have a great read on that line drive from Tommy Pham, and he was kind of trying to make up for not having a great read. And he ultimately wound up missing Tony Perez-Chica's stop sign, which, yes, granted, it was a little bit of a late stop sign. I think Perez-Chica probably shares a little bit of the blame there, at least. But yeah, I think the Diamondbacks want to come out tomorrow and not try to do too much. Just know that they're a pretty good offensive team. They certainly have been. They certainly showed that they can be the other day, and we'll see if they're able to get back to that tomorrow.
What did you think about that Pham single? At what point, the ball's in the air, it touches down, it's in Garcia's hand. Were you thinking like, no, you probably want to hold him here? Did you have that same thought the whole way?
Oh yeah. The moment that Christian Walker rounded third base, it was like, all right, this is disaster for the Diamondbacks. Adolis Garcia has an incredible arm. I do kind of wonder, and I didn't get a chance to ask Christian this after the game, but I think with like maybe the best slide of his life, like a really, really, really good slide,
maybe
he might have been able to be safe. It kind of looked like his
an Evan Longoria slide.
Yeah. Well, that wouldn't have worked here, but something like that, where I think his feet like actually might have gotten to the plate like just before the tag got to him, but his feet like didn't actually touch the plate, at least not immediately. So maybe I'll get a chance to ask him that tomorrow or something and see if he thinks that was a possibility. But yeah, Adolis Garcia has an absolutely incredible arm, and in the second inning with nobody out, with still some pretty good hitters in your lineup coming up, it didn't make any sense whatsoever to test Adolis Garcia's arm. And I mean, yeah, if I'm Tony Perez-Chica, I think I'm putting the stop sign up from the get-go. There's just, unless you really are really confident that you're going to be safe there, there's no reason to risk it in a situation like that. Yeah. And the Diamondbacks ultimately got burned, and it certainly felt like a big hinge point in this game.
Garcia's throw was 94.6 miles per hour, second fastest tracked outfield assist. Directly home, not cut off, of course, in a postseason game since 2015, the start of the StatCast era, behind only Marlon Gonzalez.
He's no Brenton Doyle, though, right, Patrick?
Not many are.
He already brought them up earlier, Jesse. Don't you worry. He already.
He's no Nolan Jones, is he?
There, I talked about him too. Of course, he
not
did.
many are. Not many are. No. You know,
he got you on that one.
Why is everyone coming at me like this? What the hell? But you know, to your credit, Jesse, there getting ahead of your homework, talking about Aroldis Chapman maybe not being available tomorrow. He is available, but in starts of, or rather in appearances where he's had 5 days of rest or more, 0 ERA, 4 days, 2 ERA. If he has a 3 days of rest, a 2.57 ERA, 2 days of rest, 2.45 ERA. If he gets 1 day of rest this season, he has a 2.13 ERA. But on back-to-back days, 8.68.
Let's go.
ERA.
Let's go.
So Aroldis Chapman available, not available.
The other thing I want to say, I mean, I kind of touched on this earlier, but Aroldis Chapman didn't look good in this game. Like I was really not impressed with the way that Aroldis Chapman pitched in this game. He gives up a double, right, to Emmanuel Rivera to start things off. I know Geraldo Perdomo, that pitch wasn't even a strike, but Geraldo Perdomo managed to slice it to left field for an RBI single. And then, you know, Corbin Carroll ultimately took a slider right down the middle for strike 3, was clearly looking for something else there. He wouldn't say what it was after the game. Corbin Carroll is generally pretty secretive in situations like this. But
he doesn't even like talking about what he thought he saw or whatever. He doesn't want to give them anything, and I love that about him. He's a machine. The man is a machine. He is a gamer, and he will never stop gaming.
Yeah, so ultimately Chapman won that battle with Corbin, but Corbin saw a lot of pitches there, really made Chapman work, and then Ketel Marte's ground out that turned into a pretty incredible double play.
Yeah,
almost 115 miles per hour off the bat.
We talked about that.
Pretty in a pretty similar spot to a pitch that Ketel Marte had a really big home run on late in the game a couple months ago when the D-backs came back and beat the Texas Rangers. So I didn't think Chapman pitched well in this game, and like you guys were saying, if he's in the works for if they need him tomorrow, I don't know if that's going to go all that well for them.
You're very astute young man there, Jesse Senior, because that ball off of Marte's bat, 114.4, hardest hit postseason ball that was turned into a double play in the StatCast era.
Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Piece of Yoshi, I was laughing at his comment because he was saying the night and day attitudes between Thunderbolt and Tyler in our chat are hilarious. Yes, Thunderbolt is ready to pack up Chase Field and turn it into a parking lot. Meanwhile, Tyler knows that the Diamondbacks are going to win the next 3 games straight on their way to a World Series. So I appreciate both of their attitudes, and they're both me, to be honest. They're both of those things are going on inside of me, so I understand it. But I guess, Jesse, I think the big thing here is that the Diamondbacks do give up home field advantage back to the Rangers, but in the grand scheme of things, 2-1 right now for the Diamondbacks with 2 more games at home isn't the worst thing in the world, and especially if they can bounce back and find their offense, find a way to generate some runs, and again, not just eke out or win, but maybe have another decisive win like they had in Game 2. Maybe that's the kind of thing that could really make them feel like they're back in the advantage here in the overall series.
Yeah, I mean, it's been pretty backwards for the D-backs so far, right? They've lost a couple of close games. They lost a game by 1, they lost a game by 2, and then they won a game by 8. That's not really what we typically see the D-backs do, right? A lot of times they're able to pull out these close games like we saw today, and they're not usually the type of team to blow out an opponent like they did in Texas the other day. But yeah, it'll be interesting tomorrow. Are the Diamondbacks able to come out and not press in their at bats, right? Like just kind of take things slowly and just be patient. They're going to see some relatively low quality pitching, like at least compared to the pitching that they've encountered to this point in the postseason. it's not going to be quite that level, right? The Rangers bullpen does not have a whole lot of depth. Like we said, they've used some important guys recently. So yeah, this is a game that the Diamondbacks really, really need to win. And, it'll be interesting to see if they're able to come out and kind of take care of business, even though it is sort of a must-win game. Like going down 3-1 is really, really tough. So
sure,
it pretty much has that feel at this point.
I gotta go, Jesse. I gotta go learn more about the Roger Beshins football slider and things going on here when it comes to that. It's a whole thing in our chat.
I wish I knew somebody that could teach it to me, to be honest.
Jesse has missed the Roger Beshins football slider era here on this show. He has been on the road for so long. The man doesn't know what town he's in. I don't think he realizes that he gets to go to his own home tonight.
He still thinks he's in Arlington, to be honest. He's looking up the structure around him.
He's going to come over here to the AC Hotel and check in because he thinks that's where he's supposed to go to. But Jesse, do not get on the Greyhound bus.
Jump in your RAV4.
Yeah,
jump in that RAV4, dude.
RAV4. Stop by Salad and Go. Prepare yourself for tomorrow.
He did that yesterday.
He did do. It's what he did. I told you. It's not a gimmick. The man loves Salad and Go.
I offered him my Caesar salad that was in the fridge. You can
offer him a goddamn steak and potatoes. He's going to take a Salad and Go salad over any of that stuff. But Jesse, we'll see you tomorrow. I'm going to be dressed up in the silly costume and I'll be there. I don't know if I'm not coming to Chase Field dressed up like that, but I will definitely be here. And I know you will too, because tomorrow, quite possibly the biggest game of this series. If the Diamondbacks go down here 3-1 at home, that is definitely not looking good. We do have reinforcements coming on game 5, though, by the way, to protect the pool. We do have Jake from John Boy coming to the Valley to single-handedly protect the pool, should that happen, but hopefully he won't be needed. So maybe he'll come over here and hang out with us. We'll see what happens. But Jesse, thank you again for your work and for letting me use your charger at Chase Field when my phone died. And I will see you very soon.
I think I left about a quarter of my brain in Milwaukee, maybe another quarter in Philly, and another quarter in Texas.
That's not good, Jesse.
At this point, I'm only operating with a quarter, but we'll make it work.
We'll get you recharged, buddy. Don't worry. We'll get you back up to 100% soon enough.
All right. See you guys.
I'll talk to you later.
See you, buddy. What should Jesse dress up as for Halloween?
See, here's the thing.
Should we pick his costume for
Roger
him?
Beshins?
Roger Beshins is obviously the answer.
I mean, that's the gimme, but I feel like everybody this Halloween is going as Roger Beshins.
You got to come up with something.
You got to be original, you know what I mean? Like, that's the costume of the season.
Yeah, that's for sure.
It's like Ted Lasso, Roger Beshins, and
if you're a couple, you're doing Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce, but if you're a solo dude,
if
you're going as Roger Beshins.
If you're a couple, you're doing Randy Johnson and the Bird. That's what you're doing. If you're a smart man, that's exactly what you're doing. I was told by the guys on Foul Territory that my mustache makes an M. And now I can't unsee it. So they were like, how are you Luigi and not Mario? And now I feel like I've made terrible decisions, but it's because Luigi's better. Jesse would make a great Luigi, but he won't grow. It's a me, Luigi. He wouldn't grow out the mustache. So.
Can he? He's so childish, according to what he said earlier. He's so young.
He can grow the shit out of a mustache.
No, he could. He's barely old enough to rent a car.
Yeah, no, he just doesn't.
That's why he's been taking the Greyhounds,
He just doesn't grow the mustache because he doesn't want to make the rest of us look bad. That's why. Jesse's a good person. Maybe. He's a decent dude. Unlike me. We all know that. But of course, I'm just sad. I'm sad now. I'm drinking a Four Peaks beer. And of course, like I've said lots of times, Four Peaks is the key to celebrating wins and getting over losses. It is the thing that makes me happy in life. So here I am enjoying a wow. The joy bus, trying to be joyful, but not successful. But of course,
a child.
Who I do.
You have a wife.
She's 12 now. Like,
not
I don't have a child anymore.
You have a wife.
That wife's not.
You said this what makes you happy in life?
No, I am outing everybody. What are we doing here?
I mean, Four Peaks is really damn good.
It's really good beer.
Actually, you know what? You should stand by that.
I do stand by it. Thank you. But of course, Four Peaks has been perfect at tailgates around the Valley for 25 years. So do not miss out on the opportunity to get down on pumpkin porter season.
Ooh.
Great way to get over a loss is with getting A little note of nutmeg, a little note of allspice, a little note of toasted pie crust.
Love
in there.
nutmeg notes.
Yeah, check out pumpkin porter season on shelves and in draft lines around the valley. And of course, you can visit fourpeaks.com/locator to find all of your favorite brewery tours and events. Steinholding, which still is very difficult, I found out. Oktoberfest and haunted brewery tours. They're all here. Tomorrow's the day. Tomorrow's big Halloween day. I love Halloween.
Whoa.
So, of course, that's a great place to spend it. Check out at Four Peaks Brew at Four Peaks Pub to keep up with the latest. Arizona's hometown brewery. Must be 21 or older to drink Four Peaks, and please drink responsibly. Jacob's standing here staring at me. I think he wants his scarf back. Is that what you want? That's fine.
Oh, you got to toss it.
You can't
While
give
you're
me a
doing
scarf
that,
and then ask me for the scarf back, because now I feel sad. It was a terrible throw.
Oh, don't get in camera. Oh, that was close. All right, let me empty out the notebook real quick.
Man. Do you got more?
Yeah, the Rangers, most road wins in a single postseason. They've got 9. Nationals in 2019 had 8. 96 Yankees had 8. Rangers 9, most ever. And Jacob witnessed one of those road wins. The pitching matchup, we talked about how odd it was to have more confidence in Brandon Pfaadt than Max Scherzer, and well, we were kind of right about that. Big age discrepancy between those two guys. They're separated by 14 years and 80 days. Kind of similar to our age and Jesse, marking the 9th largest age difference between podcast hosts. Age difference between 2 starting pitchers of a World Series game per Live Sports Bureau. The most lopsided was the one that Evan Longoria was a part of. 2008, 45-year-old Jamie Moyer, Rockies legend, versus 25-year-old Matt Garza. Remember Matt Garza?
I do remember Matt Garza. I absolutely remember Matt Garza. Oh, all right.
I think that's all my notes.
Is that all your notes?
Probably. I
right.
don't know if anyone cares about any of the other things going on.
I did beat Sean DePaz in fantasy football, and I just needed to say that on the show
big.
because I need a win tonight, and I just needed to point that out. Sean called me a fraud, I believe is the word he used, and then he proceeded to put up the most points in our fantasy football league this week, second only to me.
Ooh, that's an L.
Suck it, Sean.
That's an L. Tyler, 7.
Anyway,
7.
I'll tell you. Are we going with how many? Yeah, let's do 7. I'll say D-backs in 7. Let's stretch this thing out. It's already been this fun. Let's
no
get as
super
much
chat
baseball.
love today, huh?
We got some super chats. I just think I've been ignoring them, and that's my fault.
Yeah, let's get to the homies.
Sad. Caleb Lindsay, thank you so much.
What's up, Caleb?
He said, Alfonso Marquez sucked tonight. It was like watching a high schooler try and ump a little league game. The World Series is not the stage to be making trash calls like that. Also, ski.
That's a
big
good
ski.
That's a good PS at the end.
Yeah.
PS
ski.
I miss you while I'm away.
Yeah.
Ski. I like that.
Shout out to Caesar. He says, insane for one umpire to have such an impact on the outcome. Missed call that led to 3 runs, and then the 9th killed D-backs momentum. Bring on the robot umps.
They're
I
coming.
am all for robot umps.
They're coming.
It's still important that people understand, like, I want an actual robot back there. Like, and it's got to look very science fiction-y.
Is it going to be boxy, or does it have to have legs?
I mean, I'd prefer more of a Jetsons kind of thing. I'd like legs.
Rosie the robot?
I mean, rollers are fine. Get crazy with it. I'm fine with it. It should still look like an umpire in some way.
It does.
I know it doesn't need a mask, but give it a mask, right?
Yeah,
right.
I think so. And I think it still does need to have some of the Rosie equipment for sweeping off the plate.
Yeah.
So that part of the Jetson technology, couldn't agree more.
And like
with.
cosplay shit, right? Like when the Ghostbusters guys make their backpacks and they put the little lights on there that don't do anything, throw some extra lights on there. I don't care. Make it look like a Star Wars
and
robot.
if there's an out at the plate, obviously the robot should be able to, shoot fireworks at the top of its.
Yeah, you're right.
Android head.
It absolutely, when they hit a home run, it absolutely should shoot fireworks out of the top of it. If not, what are we doing here?
Yes.
I don't know. Benjamin Hunley says, I will remember this as the game of Walker's boner.
He made a mistake? Did he make a mistake?
Boner.
Merkel's boner?
Yeah.
Look at this guy knowing his baseball history. Fred Merkel, baby. He got to touch second base.
Us baseball heads know it. Us
boner
heads.
is a mistake.
I completely forgot. You're right. I'm
also,
sorry.
If you like historic mistakes in the World Series, make sure you check out Snodgrass Muff. That's also another great mistake.
I will have to check out
Snodgrass's Muff. Search it in Google, and don't worry, it's on the up and up. It's a baseball thing.
There's going to be a safe search thing that comes up with that. Carlos says this game has me steaming. Game 1 was upsetting because Seawald got clipped, but these missed calls leading to runs is making me see red. I want Hoberg. We all want Pat Hoberg. Pat Hoberg is a little baby angel that deserves to umpire all of the games. Jordan Baker?
Jordan Baker's a good one.
All right. Maybe somebody in the top 10. Maybe is it that hard to get an umpire in the top 10?
But where was Marquez again? Where did you say?
He.
77.
I'm glad you
I'll never
asked.
forget it. I'll never
Out
forget
of
it.
how many?
Wait. 77.
192?
No, just 92, Damon. Just 92. No 100 there.
Wait,
never
7th
forget
out of
it.
92?
Nope, 77th.
77th out of 92.
Golden Gate Sports ranked him as one of the 5 worst umpires in baseball.
All right.
All right.
I misheard the numbers.
Killer X, we thank you. Genuine question: why the fuck doesn't Torrey move Walker down in the batting order? I don't think his defense makes up for how bad he's been. I mean, his defense doesn't or moving him down the batting order does not change his defense. So, like, yes, I saw a couple of comments about get him out of the lineup. Absolutely not. Walker is too good defensively to be out there. There's nobody even close. You do not want Emmanuel Rivera at first base. You do not want Pavin Smith at first base. You do not want those things. So, again, there's no problem with him being there, but I do agree that maybe moving him down in the lineup isn't the worst idea.
Pham is finally heating up enough where you're going to do it, but to 5th, and then, you could have a big spot, and you'd rather Gurriel up there than Christian Walker. Again, sometimes the results don't always match the process, and we said it on Saturday night. Christian Walker was starting to heat up just a little bit, and we finally saw it today with that double, and so I think Torrey is seeing that too. It's like, just be patient. Just be patient. Yeah. He will hit a home run this series.
Yeah.
I truly believe that.
All right. So we appreciate you guys, of course, for being here. If you are not a diehard, we thank you still for being here. If you are a diehard, we thank you extra for being here. Get that diehard membership. You can also get a shirt with that. You can get a free shirt as part of your diehard membership.
Wow.
We're still dangerous, and we're still fucking dangerous. We're still connected, and we're still a dangerous team. So get the shirt of a dangerous team. Again, if you get a diehard membership, you can get that shirt for absolutely free with your diehard membership. You get whatever shirt you want from the PHNX locker. We have some really great choices over there, so make sure to check that out. Once you do get your membership, you'll get 20% off all future purchases. You also get access to Jesse's newsletter. You get access to our members-only Discord lounge and so much more. It is the absolute best place to be an Arizona sports fan, not just for Diamondbacks fans, Suns fans, Cardinals fans, Coyotes fans, Sun Devils fans, Wildcat fans, whatever. Rising fans, yeah. Mercury fans, whatever piques your interest for Arizona sports fandom. Join us over here and become part of our family. And that's with a PH. We spell family with a PH over here. Of course.
And sometimes a PF. Pfaadt.
That's true. I don't like that you did that, but what are we saying? What we got?
Spelling's important.
We got like one more week with Patrick Damon before we ship him to Abu Dhabi like fucking Nermal the cat.
It's like you're like tearing off each calendar day until
I can't wait. I can't wait to send him back to Denver. I really can't.
His calendar is little windows, and he opens it up and he gets a little piece of chocolate. He's like, well, when I'm gone, guess what? No more chocolate for you, bro. So you better hope I stick around.
I did get an advent calendar, but it's not chocolate. It's little robot pieces to build a new umpire to put behind the home plate. And when I open them all up,
made it Patrick. Okay.
Yeah. Piece of Yoshi says we still won the Edwin Jackson trade. He's not wrong. Also,
that's one way of looking at it.
If you did put some money on Corbin Carroll to get that Rookie of the Year, you know that's going to pay off when all of this is said and done. And of course, a great place to make those bets is over at BetMGM. Of course, we love BetMGM, and you should too. It makes sports better. It makes baseball better. You can place your first BetMGM sportsbook wager through their mobile application of at least $10. If you use our code of PHNX to sign up, you'll get $200 in free bets instantly. All you got to do, download that app on iOS or Android, or visit their website at betmgm.com. Sign up and deposit $10. Use our promo code of PHNX when signing up. Place a wager in the amount of at least $10 or more at a standard odds price. And once you have done so, you will receive $200 in bonus bets, regardless of the outcome of your wager. It's a great way to spend your money is to try to curse the Rangers, which I will be doing with my bets. And I once again apologize to the gambling community for going off the path today. I don't even know what I was thinking. I was in a rush. I was enjoying the vibes. I was like, you know what? I'm feeling the Diamondbacks tonight. I'm going to throw some money on these guys to do the thing. And everything went wrong. Not only did the team lose, but I also lost my bet substantially. I think I could tell Marte might have been the only leg that hit on that one. But of course, you can use the BetMGM Sportsbook app to do curse whatever team you want to, or maybe a better idea, make yourself some money. Once again, sign up for BetMGM and use code PHNX. Place your first BetMGM Sportsbook wager through the mobile application of at least $10. You will receive $200 instantly in additional winnings regardless of your wager's outcome. Check out the show notes for full details, and now listen to Shane talk about the disclaimer.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Colorado, D.C., Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, Louisiana, Maryland, Mississippi, New Jersey, Nevada, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, Wyoming. Call 877-8-HOPENY or text HOPENY 467-369 New York. Call 1-800-327-5050 Massachusetts. 21 plus to wager. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP Arizona. 1-800-BETS-OFF Iowa. 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help Michigan. 1-800-981-0023 Puerto Rico in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. U.S. promotional offers not available in D.C., New York, or Ontario.
Ontario.
Ina wants me to stop being mean to Patrick, and I will never stop being mean to Patrick as long as I live. As long as I live.
It's okay.
Yeah, I mean, we really do hang out. And I mean, he doesn't drink or smoke weed with me, but we do watch wrestling together, and that's where we become best friends.
Yay.
Anyway, we thank you guys, of course, for stopping by tonight. We're still not over this loss, and you probably shouldn't be either, but we will be back tomorrow here with our pregame show at 4:30 p.m., and then we'll be back 15 minutes after the final out to once again talk about another World Series game, which still doesn't resonate with me as a real thing.
Talk about a W.
To talk about the W. I like that. See, Damon, you need to get me out of my loser mindset. Can you help me out here?
I'm starting to feel a little bit more juiced as this show goes
Yes.
on. I was in a bad spot.
Did I get you?
I'm ready to fucking
Are you
rock.
ready to fight? Are you ready to
no,
fight
Do we have
back?
a Perdomo clip? I mean, he's the guy that gets you going.
I mean, I'll just say it like it is. We're the better team here. We should have won game 1. We blew them out game 2.
The
Game
Diamondbacks
3,
are better.
everything went against us.
I think the Diamondbacks are better.
Everything went against us in game 3. We're down 2-1. It's not over yet. Just keep playing ball the way we know how. This is ours. We got it.
Keep being a wagon. Keep causing chaos. Hey, even if you don't have a ticket, another reason to go down to the ballpark, besides the vibes, is you're going to probably see us walking around aimlessly and hanging out.
There's no chance I'm going to be at the ballpark tomorrow dressed as Luigi. I'm not.
You're not?
I'm not. Should I? I don't know. We'll see. Maybe you'll get to catch
Can
me
you
dressed
take
as Luigi.
some items off and then
Absolutely not.
look
It's
normal?
an entire costume, Patrick. There's no taking portions off of it. What am I going to be? Just a guy in a green long sleeve shirt and overalls? That sounds like a crazy person.
Have you been down by Chase Field recently before games?
I mean, this mustache already has me halfway there. It's fine, but I still, no matter what bad things I say about him, appreciate him more than I could ever express in words. And I appreciate you guys for stopping by. Of course, you can make sure to follow us on Twitter. I am at Cap_Caveman with a K. This absolute maniac is at Patrick D. Lyons. Of course, the people's producer who's keeping us hyped up is Damon. He is at Damon Dog. That's DAWG. Of course, we are Damon's dogs. Woof, woof. You make sure to follow our show at PHNX_DBacks, but all roads do lead to at PHNX_sports on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. We thank you again for your time tonight, your passion, and your love of the Arizona Diamondbacks. We look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. And remember, kids, baseball is fun, but it is so much more fun when Alfonso Marquez isn't the home plate umpire.
We all silly like the mayor.